Wednesday, broker preview day again. We're at 1211 Skyline Drive in the middle of town. We're in the neighborhood of Mystic Hills, overlooking downtown, the high school, fantastic views, great location. Let's go on in and take a look at this. The real point of our video was to really give you another look at one of our 4 areas in Laguna Beach. We've done the Village, we did North Laguna, and today's hope was we were going to do South Laguna. So from here, thought we would go down and take a look at some of the neighborhoods of South Laguna and familiarize you guys with what makes South Laguna so special. All right, we're just going through Nice Place. Nice Place is the intersection that you go through when you transition from the Village area of Laguna into South Laguna. So we're now in South Laguna. Our first stop we're going to stop at is Lagunita. This is a gated community, just inside the South Laguna boundary. There's 64 homes in here. Hopefully my code works. Bear with me. Voila, very cool. We've sold a few houses in here. One of my clients gave me the gate code to allow us in here to just take a quick drive through. There's a couple of houses on the market in here right now. In fact, one may be even on broker preview. I saw they just lowered the price at number 3. Again, 64 homes in this gated community, and they also have direct beach access. What people like about Lagunita is it's small, it's very private, people keep to themselves. It's not a super active community like Emerald Bay or even Three Arch Bay. The homes, a lot of them are right on the water. They're at basically beach access is essentially the south end of Victoria Beach. But anyway, let's pull up. I'll show you the beach access and give you a little bit more understanding of the community, hopefully. Yeah, just to give you a little more understanding of it. Most of the homes in here will be upwards of 7, 8, 10, 20, higher than that even, especially for these oceanfront estates that are on the water. Let's go take a look at the beach access, see if the gate's open. It's probably not, but we can get a feel for it. Again, this is the south end of Victoria Beach, and if you watched our video on the Village area, we profiled Victoria Beach, and I kind of pointed down to this area as one of the more exclusive private areas. Let's see, I think we're going to be shut out here. We're friendly, but we're not that friendly. We don't have access to the gates and things. But anyway, this gives you a feel for it. Around that point right there is Victoria Beach. It's tough to get, and it probably won't be a great video shot, but essentially you have 2 points of access to direct beach access from Lagunita. Since we can't get in the gate, I thought let's throw the drone up and take a video of the overall community of Lagunita, and then it'll show you the relative beach access and so forth. I've sold 3 homes in Lagunita before. The most recent one was this one right here, that white with tan. Sold that about 7, 8 years ago to a client of ours, and they've loved it. They bought that for $4 million, and probably that's an $8 million house today. My guess is somewhere in there. These along the water here, probably 20. One recently sold, not recently, a few years ago, sold down there for $15 million. Just to give you an idea of the price points of this neighborhood. All right, so we're pulling out of Lagunita right now. We're headed over to the Montage. Go check it out, and yeah, we'll give you a good overview on what's going on down there and the housing opportunities there. South Laguna, I think if there's one thing that it suffers from is this perception that there aren't a lot of, say, resident serving businesses, restaurants, nightlife, some of that stuff. South Laguna has, I don't want to say suffers from, but doesn't have like we do in the middle of Laguna. So now we're pulling into the Montage. We're here at the entrance of the Montage, and this is the entrance to the housing community. These are the condos right here, and these are about 3,000 square foot condos. I think they go up to as much as 4,500 or somewhere in there. Houses in the Montage go from, say, 17 million on the low side, but now those numbers are more in the mid-20s, 20, 25. What house is that? I sold number 17, which is right here. That one I sold. They've painted it. I sold that a couple years ago, and we sold that for $19,500,000. These are all what's called the oceanfront. The one that up above that I told you I sold, not even oceanfront, you know, for $19,500,000. Number 7 is the one that I was referring to that sold for just under $30 million last year. So that's number 11. This should be 9. Here's number 7. That sold for $29,888,000 back in 2022. So now we're at what's called Treasure Island State Park. And it's called Treasure Island because what used to be here was Treasure Island Mobile Home Park. Up here, all this were a ton of mobile homes, right? And then in front of the mobile homes that lined on PCH were just tons of eucalyptus trees that basically hid the mobile home park from the public. And then the public was also shielded from the coastline here. We would drive by those eucalyptus trees for years and wonder what's beyond those eucalyptus trees. You know, lo and behold, the Montage, this was developed a little over 20 years ago now, which I can't believe has happened that quickly. 20 years ago, came from the mobile home park, super controversial development in town. It definitely took a long time to get approved, but once it got approved, this has been the greatest addition to our town that I think the town's ever had, was the contribution that the Montage made. For me, I'm along here at least once, twice a week, walking, appreciating the scenery. Anyway, pretty special place. Gotta believe thousands of people have been engaged on here. We've come here for prom pictures and homecoming pictures. We have Mother's Day picnics here. There's a lot of outdoor entertaining spaces. My favorite part about this area is, to me, I think this is just something that was never here before that we could never access, and to have a park like this to walk along. We have Heisler Park on the other side of town, but this is pretty special. These are the oceanfront houses that we're walking along in front of, and they've done a much better job at landscaping out here to protect the residents of the houses, but still, everybody wants to see who's in there. As a matter of fact, this house is on the market right now for $40 million, but yeah, this used to not be near as landscaped along here, so it was like a zoo. You were walking along here and just looking at everybody in there. All right, so we just left the Montage and the Treasure Island State Park. We're on our way down to Three Arch Bay, but I thought I'd take a little detour and take you through Aliso Beach Park and show you this. This is probably next to Main Beach in Laguna. This is our most public beach. A lot of people from out of town come here. Reason being is there's, you know, great parking, obviously, good beach access. There are lifeguards here, I believe, 365 days a year. Nice part about it is they used to have a pier out here. They removed the pier, but at the base of the pier there used to be kind of a snack shop and food and all that, and so they got rid of that. But several years ago, along with the ranch across the street, they opened this Lost Pier Cafe that serves everybody down here. Super cool place to come down, have breakfast on the water. They've got great food selections. I come down here Saturday mornings and have a nice, you know, breakfast, meet some guys down here. So super cool spot. Leaving Aliso Creek, we're on our way further south down to Three Arch Bay. Take a look at broker preview. So as we go through South Laguna on our way to Three Arch Bay, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about South Laguna. You know, here's a cool Neapolitan Italian place, nice restaurant here. Coldwell Banker, my company. My office is not in that building, but it's part of the same company. Coyote Grill, famous restaurant here in town. South Swell Donuts, people love that. Another hot spot these days is Abba, which is right there. Good restaurant, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And then, of course, now we're coming up to Thousand Steps Beach on the right, and it is one of the more picturesque beaches here in town, but access to it is a little bit difficult, but it's also made it something that's more attractive to people. So a lot of people come down here just to see Thousand Steps and to see if there really are 1,000 steps, which there aren't. Anyway, that's a brief little summary of South Laguna as we make our way down to Three Arch Bay. So now we're in Lower Three Arch Bay. We're gonna go take a look at a house. There's about 300 houses here, and there's about 200 houses in Upper Three Arch Bay. Prices vary down here. Prices in Lower Three Arch Bay range from anywhere from roughly $5 million on up to about $40 million. Super cool house here. We're in Lower Three Arch Bay. We're at 13 North Cayasita, and Cayasita is a street that basically runs just this side of PCH, which has always been a bit of the challenge with these homes. The reason I know this is I lived at 15 South Cayasita for several years when I was growing up, so I definitely know this neighborhood. But let's go in. I hear this is a pretty special house. It looks like it's in great shape, and let's go in. Yeah, pretty nice. And can you hear? I mean, you can hear a little bit of the highway noise from the back, but not really. I was amazed when we walked in and went through it. Okay, master, primary, whoops. Catalina, full-on Catalina views. These openable, like, custom windows. Super cool. All right, making our way down Vista del Sol, which is the main street that goes through Three Arch Bay, divides it. You know, the topography of the landscaping and everything lends itself much more in lower Three Arch Bay to these lower profile, you know, more flat, traditional style houses versus upper Three Arch Bay, again, with the topography increasing and the hillside more prominent up there, you're gonna get a lot more houses that are more vertical, that have elevators, multiple stories. It definitely feels more congested in upper Three Arch, but most people definitely want to be in lower Three Arch. We're now along La Senda, which is the street that runs along the beach here in Three Arch. I want to take you over to the clubhouse, park. That's one of the amenities we have here in Three Arch, or they have here in Three Arch. You know, basketball courts, clubhouse, bathrooms, tennis courts. What I love about Three Arch Bay is very low-key. People are kind of keep under the radar here. I mean, it's a very active community for sure, but it feels like people want to be a little understated, a little bit under the radar. And honestly, the beach here is probably the best, most gorgeous beach we have. Access to it's difficult and a little bit challenging. That's probably the drawback to it. But once you're down at the beach, hard to find a better place. We're standing at the main beach access point here in lower Three Arch Bay. So come down here and let's go take a look at the gazebo. It'll give you an overall appreciation for the beach I was just talking about. I mean, just like this access down to the beach is so cool. So this gazebo is like the resting point. When you get tired of walking up the steps, you get to pause right here and take a little break. So fires and fire pits only. See, we got fire pits here. Aliso, they're pulling the fire pits out. There's cliff jumping off of those cliffs over there. I love this beach though. Once you're down there, man, there's nothing like it. You're just in this freaking cove. Then over here, tough to see, but on the other side there's this little cove over here called Shell Beach. They call it Shell Beach because that's where all the broken up shells end up over here. It's amazing how many shells are over here and how sandy it is over here. Again, Three Arch, awesome swimming. There's like one rock that you can see in the water. Other than that, there's very little rock presence. So you've got freaking unbelievable swimming and body surfing, boogie boarding. People surf down here too sometimes. Oh, these houses, 30 million, 40 million. That one down there, that Tudor style one, was on the market recently for, I believe, 30 million. All right, we're standing at the midway point, well, almost the midway point at the Three Arch Bay access to the beach. We're underneath the gazebo. Actually, I'm not underneath it, but we're at the gazebo. And Three Arch Bay is named after the three arches that it has. And this rock that you see beyond us, this is called Whale Rock. And at the base of Whale Rock, under its tail, are three arches that you can kind of see. At the base of the tail here are three arches, and that's where Three Arch Bay gets its name, from the three arches that are in the Whale Rock's tail. That rock, Whale Rock, is also owned by this homeowner. So this person who bought this house now assumes responsibility for this rock. So this house sold, I'd guess, 5-6 years ago. It sold for about $7.5 million, which today now sounds like a steal. But you also get the Whale Rock. I actually had a client at the time who was interested in it, but they didn't want the Whale Rock because they felt like there was too much of a liability that came with that. There are a lot of people who go down to the beach, they go to the tide pools, they visit, they jump off the Whale Rock. There's a lot of inherent liability that comes with owning that, or at least that was the perception of my client. This person bought it. My guess is they haven't had any problem with it and it's been fine. But an amazing property, and like I said, I think it sold for $7.5 million, and it was a hell of a buy for somebody at that point. So I know they spent a lot of money fixing it up, and it's a spectacular home now. Anyway, fun fact in Three Arch Bay. Okay, we're just finishing up at Three Arch Bay. We've got a couple more places I want to go. I'm going to take you through the South Laguna Village part of the South Laguna area. And then I want to take you by the Valido Trail and show you one of the highlights of the South Laguna neighborhood that people gravitate to. All right, we're going to head over to the Valido Trail. And as we do that, I wanted to drive through the South Laguna Village neighborhood to give you guys an idea of what that neighborhood's like, why people like it. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go up 9th. No particular reason other than to just kind of show you guys what the neighborhood looks like. That was one of the first houses I sold when I got in the business right there, matter of fact. But South Laguna, you know, the interesting part about South Laguna, it was an unincorporated part of the town forever, and it was overseen by the County of Orange. Laguna Beach didn't have much to do with South Laguna up until 1987, and in 1987 Laguna Beach annexed South Laguna, and so South Laguna then officially became part of Laguna Beach. And then beach access is at 1,000 steps, which is just there at that signal. So we already talked about that. That's one part of South Laguna, just to give you an idea of the makeup there. We're gonna go into another little neighborhood in South Laguna here. Now we're on 3rd Avenue, and all these streets here, you know, run perpendicular to PCH, and then you've got these little offshoots off of each of these main streets. We'll go back up another side to take us to the that Valido Trail that I've been talking about. Here we're on Eagle Rock. Eagle Rock, also another well-known street in South Laguna. You can kind of feel the tightness a little bit. You can feel the parking, but you can also feel the tightness and the coziness of it too, which is, again, makes this neighborhood pretty special. A lot of longtime residents here. A lot of people in South Laguna are very proud that they're from South Laguna and, you know, really appreciate it for what it is. So, all right, so we're now at the trailhead of the Valido Trail. This is just off West Street in South Laguna. Super popular hiking spot. There's a lot of these in North Laguna. There's a few of these in South Laguna. And this one to me is a super manageable, fun hike. The payoff is too, once you get up there, the freaking view is spectacular. It's over 180 degrees, both directions, north, south. It's spectacular. Partially up the Valido Trail, goes all the way up here. We're still in the South Laguna Village neighborhood of South Laguna, okay? And again, we're gonna walk up here and go around and get that view overlooking the entire kind of South Orange County, quite honestly. And you got Catalina straight out here. But again, this being the South Laguna Village part of the neighborhood, we're looking across to that other neighborhood, which is called Coastal Royale. That's another part of South Laguna, and I'm gonna drive you through there so you guys can kind of feel that. Those homes are a little bit bigger, lots are a little bit bigger, a little bit more exclusive homes than some of the neighborhoods we've been driving in. Views are spectacular, parking a little bit easier, a little newer section of South Laguna, so a little bit more amenities were thought about when they were developing that neighborhood. Here we are, South Laguna, on our way to Coastal Royale neighborhood. This guy's a buddy of mine named Justin. He coins himself as the Pumpkin King right here, right? And that's his little pumpkin patch there. But his whole hope is to get the world's biggest pumpkin. So he's got a full-on Instagram account that he's, you know, really working, and he's showing you how to germinate your seeds and make the soil just perfect so you can get that freaking ultimate pumpkin. He's been really building it up this year, so we can't wait for Halloween to see what he does. Now I'm going to turn right here, and we're going to go into that Coastal Royale neighborhood that I was just mentioning. Coastal Royale neighborhood, you get a little bit bigger houses. It's more hilly here, so all the houses are really focused on view orientation and maximizing exposure. One thing that's cool that you guys will never notice, but the reality is they've undergrounded the power lines here probably 5-7 years ago, something like that here. In this neighborhood, it was such a great addition to the neighborhood. You have no idea, but there were lots of power lines in this area, which really got in the way of the views. Coming down this Coastal Royale neighborhood, you get a view looking north. Now, we sold that house last year. This house right here with these gates, that's on the market right now for, I think, $5.5 million, something like that, maybe 5-6. Market down here is good. I mean, there are people who definitely love South Laguna and they really focus specifically on South Laguna, but there are people specifically who say, I don't want to be in South Laguna, you know, flat out. So it's definitely you either are good with it or you're not, it feels like. And there are some people that are okay either way. They'll do South Laguna or middle of town. We'll take you on the loop and then we'll get out of here and we'll call it a day. Before real estate, I was a contractor, I was a builder. This is one of the houses I built right here, which is kind of cool. And it's still in great shape, great house. And then these houses here have spectacular views overlooking Aliso Beach, kind of the Montage. This house right here that's under construction, pretty amazing. You can see being built from PCH, and it's a monstrosity. I mean, it's big. It'll be an interesting and it'll be a statement when it's done, that's for sure. That's kind of Coastal Royale neighborhood of South Laguna. Alrighty. That finishes our tour for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed our trip through South Laguna and all the varying neighborhoods. We didn't cover everything. There's so much to cover, and as I'm driving home, I felt like, God, we should have done this, and we didn't go to the beach and all that. But hopefully we gave you a good overall understanding and perspective on South Laguna, why people like it. Overall, it's a great community, and it's flourishing a bit more than it used to because of the recent influx of businesses and restaurants that have come to town. So if you guys want more content, you want to see more of what we're doing, see more of these videos that we're going to be putting out, please like and subscribe from wherever you guys are. And we've done 3 of the 4 areas in Laguna Beach that we intend on covering. Then the last one is the canyon, and our next video is going to be focused on the canyon. So again, if you guys like us, you want to see that, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video. So thanks so much for your support, and until next time.